We're going to look at 1-octave scales, and we're doing this for several reasons. First of all, to get the fingers working smart. Practice your alternative picking. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Making sure that your fretting hand doesn't move unnecessarily. Okay, so no thumb movement. And then also, most important, ear training as well, so we can get used to the major sound. This is the major scale. It's basically the G major scale played from fret 10 on the 5th string. This is G. And if you go up through slowly, you have these notes. Now the scale will also be on your PDF file as well. Now for step 1, I want to build the speed with this 1-octave shape. So we're going to start like this. And gradually go as fast as you can. Okay, now that's the first part, and while you're playing this, I want you to think this is the major sound. So that when you hear this sequence of notes, no matter where you're playing it from, like this is G for example. If I play it from F, it's the same sequence of fingers, it's the same sound, even though they're different notes. So it's a movable scale. Play it from there, it's A major, from there it's G major, where I started, from there it's F major. Now we can also move it onto the 6th string as well, like if I need to play an E flat major scale, E flat's in fret number 11 on the 6th string, same shape, same sequence of notes. So you're not just learning one scale, you're actually learning several different scales in the sense of that they are movable. I can play any major scale I want, I can play C major. Anything I want, all I need to know is where are the root notes. In other words, where do I find G? I find it there, I find it down off the fretboard, you can't see it there, but it is there at fret 3. Now that's the first part. Okay, so step 1, play the scale. And remember to alternate the strokes. You can see my picking hand over there waving at you. Okay, also get your pinky working. Very, very important. We quite often neglect the pinky. It's 25% of your working fingers. Or somebody might say it's 20%, but we don't use the thumb. So 4 fingers, 25% is the pinky working. Now, once you got used to the sound, and I'm playing it over again, just to make sure that you know this sound, this tonality, before we go to the next. Now, I'm sure you've probably heard of people say for every major there's a relative minor. Now G major, one more time, is the same as E minor, or related to E minor rather would be a better phrase. And the reason why I accidentally slipped up and decided not to edit the fact that I said it's the same is because even though G major and E minor aren't the same, they actually are the same, because the notes inside G are G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, and the notes in E minor go E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E. So in essence, they both contain the same notes, they just start on different positions, and that's why we say they're related. Now, every single major scale will have a relative minor. If I do A major, I'll simply go back 3 frets. I don't count the first one. I count from there 1, 2, 3, and there's the relative minor. Okay, if I play C major, the relative minor, like we said, down 3, 1, 2, 3. Now what this is telling us is that if I'm doing a solo, say for example I'm playing in the key of G major, as soon as we're starting with the G major scale, I don't have to play just the G major scale to improv. I don't have to go. I can also use the E minor scale. Also sounds pretty cool. Put a bit of a Dorian inside there for the fun of it because it was cool. But end of the day, where we're heading over here is quite a few different avenues. The one is to get, first of all, know your scales. B, know what is relative to the major and minor, the connection between the two. C, we want to be able to play anywhere on the guitar neck. So if I start here, I want to be able to get around the guitar without having to think, what scale must I play, where are all the G major scales? I don't want to do that. I want to work with 5 different shapes, and we're going to get to that. And the 5 different shapes ultimately will coincide and tie in with the pentatonic scales as a foundation, not the absolute or the ending. It's a foundation. We build from there. So one more time to recap that we're not getting too lost on the plot. On this video, we're starting with the G major scale. You've learned this, you can play it with a bit of palm damping, without palm damping. Try play it with both. It's a nice technique to get into. And then you want to know that your root note is movable, and wherever you start on, if I start on fret number 7, that's E, so I'd have E major scale from there, for example. So you're learning the 1 octave of the major scale, and that we can move it. And then the second thing I want you to walk away with this video is that you know every major scale has got a relative minor, and that means it's the minor scale with the same notes as the major scale. So G major has the same notes as E minor. The same way that C major has the same notes as A minor. And that's how it works. And to get from any major to work out its relative minor, simply count 3 frets down. So if I'm playing E, my relative minor is 1, 2, 3, C sharp minor. And of course the reverse from that. If you read an article and the guitarist says, well, I'm doing a solo E flat minor, and you want to know, gee, what major key is in? You go 3 frets up. E flat starts here, 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's in G flat major. So G flat major is the same notes as E flat minor. Okay, so we got that under control. That's the first step. So make sure you can play this well. And be able to play it, say, 3-4 times in a row like it did, to make sure you've got nice control. Again, the alternative picking, I'm going to stress it quite a bit through the videos. Make sure you can do the minors. Also 3-4 times in a row, it means also good control. So we're starting off major scales, minor scales, 1 octave, and we know how they're related. That's the first part of this video. On the next video, we're going to start introducing different modes, and we'll start getting more into tonalities and things like that, which are also important. But for now, that's your starter. I hope you enjoyed this, and any questions, please drop me a WhatsApp or email. I really want you to be confident with this. I want you to know it 101%. If there's any hesitation about relative major, moving the root notes, relative minors and things like it, please, now's the time to ask me before you go to the next video. Otherwise, have an awesome day. Take care. Chat soon. Thank you.